Every expert I've met says the same thing after they stop creating content. I just couldn't stay consistent. But I don't think consistency was ever the real problem. Because if it was, the solution would be simple. Wake up, record, post, repeat. But that's not what happens. What actually happens is this. Every Monday, you open your laptop and ask yourself, what should I make today? You scroll LinkedIn, you scroll Instagram, you save a few posts, maybe a trending reel, maybe a viral hook, maybe you even start writing. Then you stop. Not because you don't have knowledge, but because you've already spent all your energy making decisions. I don't think experts have a consistency problem. I think they have a system problem. And I genuinely believe this is one of the biggest reasons knowledgeable professionals disappear from content after just a few weeks. If we haven't met before, I'm Yuvan Atre, the founder of Strategy to Screen, where we help experts turn their knowledge into authority through strategic video content systems. Whenever an expert decides to start creating content, they are excited. They've spent years building the expertise. They've solved hundreds of problems. They've worked with clients, built frameworks, made mistakes, collected lessons. So naturally, they think, I have so much to say. And they're right. For the first week, they post. Maybe the second week too. Then the reality starts hitting. Monday arrives. What should I post now? Wednesday, should I make a reel or a carousel? Friday, maybe I'll just skip this week. The following week, nothing. And here is the interesting part. They don't stop because they run out of knowledge. They stop because every single piece of content begins with a blank page. Every post becomes another decision. Every decision drains a little more energy. Eventually, creating content starts feeling like work before you have even opened the camera. This is why I don't think consistency is about discipline. I think consistency is about reducing decisions. Think about any successful business. A restaurant doesn't wake up every morning asking, should we cook today? A newspaper doesn't debate whether they'll publish today or not. A manufacturing company doesn't wonder what they'll produce this week. They already know because they have systems. The decisions have already been made, which means people can focus on execution. Yet somehow experts expect themselves to build authority by relying on inspiration. That doesn't work. Not because they are lazy, because inspiration isn't a business strategy. Then something else happens. They start looking outside instead of inside. They open Instagram. Someone's dancing, someone's pointing at a floating text, someone's using the latest trending audio. It has 2 million views. So naturally, they think, maybe I should do that too. And honestly, sometimes it works. The views go up, reach increases, people start following. But then ask yourself, did those people actually trust you more? Did they understand how you think? Did they become more confident in hiring you? Because attention and authority are two completely different things. One can be rented, the other has to be earned. That's why I believe experts shouldn't build content around trends. They should build content around credibility. Views are temporary. Trust is what compounds. And trust is what builds authority over time. That philosophy sits at the heart of Strategy to Screen. Expertise becomes commercially valuable when it's translated into visible, repeatable systems that build trust, not when it's packaged around whatever is trending that week. So if consistency isn't the problem, what does the real solution look like? I think it starts with building something I call the authority content system. Not a content calendar, not a posting schedule, a system. Because a calendar tells you when to post. A system tells you what to post, why you are posting it, and how every piece of content strengthens your authority. For me, that system has 5 parts. First is the content pillars. Most people ask, what should I post today? Wrong question. A better question is, what do I want to become known for? Those answers become your pillars. Every future idea now has a home. You're no longer creating random content. You're reinforcing a reputation. Second Content formats. Don't reinvent your delivery every week. Decide once, maybe Mondays are the insights, Wednesdays are client stories, Fridays are frameworks. Now you have eliminated another decision. Third, the content vault. This is probably the most valuable habit you can build. The best creators don't constantly think of ideas, they collect them. A client asks a brilliant question, it goes into the vault. A prospect raises an objection, into the vault. You notice a pattern across projects, into the vault. Ideas don't disappear, uncaptured ideas do. Fourth, your production workflow. Thinking, writing, filming, editing, publishing, these are 5 different jobs. Stop trying to do all 5 on one afternoon. Batch them. Think together, write together, film together. Your brain performs far better when it stays in one mode. And finally, the review loop. This is where most creators go wrong. Every month, they check views, likes, reach. Then they decide whether their content worked. I think experts should ask different questions. Which video generated meaningful conversations? Which one attracted the right audience? Which one made someone say, I've been watching your content for months? That's the metric, because you're not trying to become popular. You're trying to become trusted. I like thinking about it the another way. Imagine you're building a house. Every morning, the workers arrive and ask, what should we build today? A wall, a window, maybe the roof? That house is never going to get finished. Not because the workers aren't skilled, because there is no blueprint. Your content system is that blueprint. Without one, you're just laying random bricks and hoping they somehow become a house. So the next time you find yourself saying, I just can't stay consistent, don't ask, how do I become more disciplined? Ask a better question. What decision am I making every single week that my system should have already made for me? Because once your system starts making those decisions, consistency becomes very easy. Consistency builds familiarity. Familiarity builds trust, and trust builds authority. So here are some key takeaways from this video. Consistency is usually a decision problem, not a discipline problem. Experts don't need more motivation, they need fewer decisions. Attention and authority are not the same thing. Trends can create reach, but systems create credibility. Every expert should build an authority content system with 5 components: content pillars, content formats, content vault, production workflow, and review loop. A content calendar tells you when to post. An authority content system tells you what, why, and how to post. The goal isn't to create more content. The goal is to build more authority. The strongest experts I know don't create content because they wake up feeling inspired. They create content because they've built a system that allows their expertise to show up consistently. And over time, that system becomes a competitive advantage. Because while everyone else is wondering what to post next, you're busy, become the person your market can't ignore. If you want more strategic thinking around authority, positioning, and building video content systems, consider subscribing. That's exactly what we explore here.